Hello. In the last episode, we attempted a raid at the Guardian Monument. I keep forgetting the name of that thing. And we covered some ground, but to be very honest, I barely made it out with my life. So I'm just going to go back home before tackling the third Elder Guardian, because once the third one's gone, we can start draining the place. But I need to know for certain that I can kill it. So I'm going to go and get my things in order. Ah, home sweet home. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some more iron. Actually, I might have already made some. I was going to make some buckets. I've got 2 buckets here. I'm going to make... Is 12 buckets enough? Surely it is. Now we're going to go and find some cows. I think there might be some over here. We have a cow deficit. Cows. There we go. I've really got to sort out a farm. There we go, 12 buckets of milk. So for those who don't know, milk will reverse any effects on the player, such as mining fatigue. Next up, I'm going to make some doors. In the last episode, I used fence gates, and because fence gates don't get waterlogged, which was good and helpful, but they were slightly too small in that every now and again I kind of slipped out of the area with the fence gate and almost drowned. We're low on food, so we're just going to grab some more golden carrots, and then I think we're good to go back in. Alright, let's go back to the monument. Oh, I just remembered. I should take off my elytra. Alright, now we're ready. Now, since I got 12 buckets of milk, I'm just going to try this once. Oh, that was lucky. There's the Elder Guardian right there. I have to say that was massively anticlimactic. But the good news is we can move straight on and start looking for sponges and start draining this place. Oh, there's one already. So I've got a dry sponge on me. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some furnaces and coal. These are useless. Alright, let's head back. Oh my god, there's a lot of those. So I'm just going to keep recycling these 2 sponges, and hopefully I'll find a sponge room in here. That is a thing, isn't it? A sponge room? Can it make that up? Though it is turning out to be quite expensive on fuel. But we've got loads of coal, it doesn't matter. Ah! Alright, that took about 3 hours in total. And we got these resources. Got 32 sponge, which is great. And got these. And I'll be using some of this in a bit just to measure the outer perimeter. So what we've done here is we've emptied the inside of this monument. I'll tell you what, while being attacked by the Guardians, I really enjoyed the immersive feeling it gives when, you know, I feel like they're just kind of protecting their home, and I'm coming in being a terrible person and taking it from them. When you're getting attacked by a lot of other mobs in Minecraft, it doesn't feel that way. You know, it just feels kind of senseless in comparison. Let us in our home. No. Right, going to the surface now. I'll have to measure out 75 blocks in each direction from the centre of the monument, which is here. Guys, if I've done something to upset you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you feel that way. That's that measured out now. It's quite a large amount of space that I have to fill in there. I'm going to be building walls along each side, and I need sand for that. A lot of sand. So I'm going to head back home and collect maybe a shulker box worth of sand. Oh my god, that sheep just got murdered. Right then, I think there's a desert in this direction. Alright, that's my shulker box. And I've got a couple of other stacks here as well. That was probably about like 3-4 minutes. See how long it lasts us though. Don't know if I mentioned before that I was playing on a server many years ago, and I've done this once before and it took a long time, but I think if I remember right, seagrass and kelp didn't exist at the time, and that presents a new problem here, in that if I build a tower of sand on top of I think seagrass, I think kelp's fine, the sand breaks, so I'll have to clear that out, and that's looking extremely busy over there, because they can't spawn on the inside now. Maybe I should have done the wall first. I don't know. It is what it is now. Ah. Okay, so that must be... Actually, it must be kelp down there, because I've been doing it through that seagrass and it's been fine. Let's go and take a look. Well, that's the walls done. It didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would. But now comes the difficult part, and that's draining this whole thing, which is going to take a long time. But like I said, this is going to be a long project, and I'm not going to do it in this episode. Got all this sand here ready to do it when I come back, but for now, I'm going to move on to something else. So now that we've got a place so very far away to travel, I know at some point I'm going to want to build a nether tunnel to that ocean monument, and I think it's in that direction. So we'll probably be coming out this way for the first time. The problem with that is resources, because I decided to go extravagant with this nether tunnel. Not only is it intricate, but for wood types, I think these are like the two most difficult wood types to get because they make a mess. But that's not the problem. The problem is actually this tinted glass. You see that little purple outline? The reason it's so expensive for me to build these tunnels, or one of the reasons, is that purple outline, because it requires tinted glass. And we don't have an amethyst farm. But as it happens, I do have an amethyst cluster right at my floating islands here. If we jump down here, there's an amethyst cluster right here. Can I get in? Or am I going to drown? That's not what I'm looking for. Oh yeah, here. Just so happens to be here. Now, I've seen amethyst cluster farms, and they are a real pain to build. And I'm not going to quite do that. I'm just going to have something that uses pistons to harvest some of these. But first of all, I have to drain out the area around it, which is going to be easier with the new sponge blocks I've got. So I've left all of these source blocks, or whatever they're called, the ones with the crosses on. I've left them all intact, even though at this point I don't really intend to try to collect from all of them, because it would just be too complicated, I think. But at some point in the future, maybe I will. But for now, if I can automate the harvesting from one of these, just a single one, well, that's an improvement. I aim to do more than that. But first, I need to find my way back to my cave, and I've got this path down here, so I'll assume that at some point in the past I've dug myself a hole. Oh, there we go. What I've seen is like flying machines that come down and then go back up and then across and all this stuff. I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm just going to start from the basics for now, and that is to get a piston to break off a piece, and I'm using this slime block so that I can reduce the amount of pistons needed. But hopefully it won't try and move that block back with it. I don't think it will, but I'm going to find out now. Oh, there it is. It really shot it across. Well, here's a minimum viable product if I ever did see one. Let's see if it works though. Oh, I broke off some redstone. Shouldn't have a problem with that redstone, right? Oh. This is moving this block here. This is quite fun. I was just trying to figure out where I'm going to stream these amethyst crystal shards to. And I found that if I drop down here, this actually leads to just here. Which means I now have a secret crystal room behind the waterfall. I always wanted a secret crystal room behind the waterfall. You might be wondering how we're going to automate this. Well, I've been thinking about that. And you might remember that this door here is attached to a daylight sensor. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to recycle it. I'm going to take the signal up here as well. I'm going to turn that into a pulse. I think that can be done with a comparator. There we go. Now it's not going to be enough to just wire this pulse straight up to the piston up there, because according to the wiki it takes about 7 days for those crystals to mature. And I'll often sleep in that bed, reducing that amount of time. So really we need a counter. We need to count this signal coming through, and then when it gets to a certain number, and I haven't yet decided what the right number is going to be, then we want it to fire the pistons. So for the counter I had to rely on people much smarter than me. I found this YouTube tutorial by Mazuma Games, and it's currently set to 7. And then once it's ticked up, it resets. I really should put these signs throughout my world when I've used something that someone else has done. But I don't know if I'm going to keep it on 7. But yeah, I'm going to send that signal up then. Alright, and time for a quick test run. The shards haven't had much time to grow yet, but I've just dropped some redstone down. And I'm going to activate it 7 times. Alright, that's currently set to 16 days. We'll have to check back on it in a couple of weeks to see if it needs adjusting, or if it works at all for that matter. That's right, I've finally worked up the courage to resume work on the dreaded desert temple. I've done this interior part here on some live streams, but that was ages ago. I haven't touched this in quite a while. So the first thing I want to do is build pillars on the interior of this. Let me show you an actual desert temple for comparison here. These here, these pillars, we're going to do these. I forgot we've got 4 of these large ones on the inside as well. I haven't yet figured those ones out, but these edge ones, that's what we're going to do first. These pillars, at least until we get to the top, are going to be the same design as these. So I've got to figure out the kind of spacing that I want between them. I do want to start on this corner. Is that correct? So if we leave a 3 wide gap, okay, a 3 wide gap doesn't work. So let's try a 4 wide gap. No, that's still too far. Let's try a 5 wide gap. Going for a 6 wide gap now. 7 doesn't work. 8's going to be the right size. Okay, I think if we inset it, just 1 block, that should allow us to have a gap of 4, I think. Yes, I think that's right. It's looking good, but it's already become evident that I need scaffolding. So I'm just going to pop back home, grab some of that. Okay then, back to work. Back here at the source material, and so we've just done these pillars. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do about these. I probably won't do them. I think it'd look too cramped. I'm not sure, but I want to focus on this floor art here. I need to scale this up, and I have a good idea for the kind of design that I'm going for, and that idea is inspired by Arabic ceremonial hand art called henna. And I don't know much about it, but I do know that it looks really good. So I'm just gonna start with like a spiral. That looks good. I realise already I've chosen the wrong blue for this. It should be a lighter blue. So I'm going to come back and replace that in a bit. But I'm going to move on to the orange. So here I think I'm going to do something not like that. And then these are supposed to look like petals. So I'm going to go on the outside of them. It's not supposed to be perfectly symmetrical. How's that looking? You know better than I do at this point because you can see it from above. I can't yet, but I think it's looking alright. I think I'd like to move this down a little bit. Okay, so now I want to put in some of these little defects to make it look a little bit aged. So I'm just going to poke some holes in the sand here, or the sandstone. I'm going to start with birch planks, and then I'm going to put these birch logs in. Don't worry, they're not going to stay like that. The birch log texture is not the best, but if you strip it, it looks really good. Oh, not too next to each other though. Where's my axe? Put something like that in there. Alright, so we're going to do the same with the terracotta now. We'll take out some of these. And actually there's some places where I want these bits here are supposed to be like leaves behind these petals in my mind. So I'd like them to kind of connect, but connect with a lighter wood, like that. Oh no, I've changed my mind. Changed my mind immediately. Let's put that back. Okay. Okay, that seems like more than enough. Let's throw some of these planks in. And once again, we're going to use logs. But of course, we're going to strip them, because we can't have grey in here. Okay, and I think I'm going to dig some blocks out here. So what I'm trying to give the impression of is that many people have come through this entrance here and have walked down the centre. So we're going to put some more spruce, not spruce, birch down here. Alright, I stepped out there for a moment and have returned with light blue terracotta. I think that's going to look a bit nicer. And the last remaining thing is I'm going to put in some candles. We'll place these torches. Just take some of these out. You know, this place is still a long way from being complete, but I feel like doing the floor in here and the pillars, I feel like we've made some good progress today. But yeah, I've got to fix all of this stuff. And then once it's complete, this is a while off yet, but once it is complete, I feel like already things are looking too symmetrical and too perfect. So I think after that point, I'm going to maybe start eroding it more and maybe letting nature leak in, and maybe even using some TNT on it. Who knows? I'm not sure. But that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed it, maybe I'll see you in the next one. Bye.